Well, hello and welcome back to Toy Thursday with Johnny Tiger on November 23rd, 2023. This episode is proudly sponsored by Hidden Corner Find, but because it is getting kind of late, so we are going to just skip the recorded message this time. I'll just let you guys off the hook, but just know that if you're looking for any of the cool toys that you are seeing on the Toy Thursday and my shorts video, well, I can't guarantee that you'll find all of them at Hidden Corner Find, but they do have a really great collection of retro action figures, new action figures, old action figures, toys from 20, 30 years ago. So it's worthwhile checking them out. The link will be in the video description below. Now, we are opening the show with the zombie dog, a gruesome zombie dog. And there's a reason for that uh, primarily because I've been on a bit of a kick. I've been on a Resident Evil kick. The last couple of days, I've been watching a lot of game walkthroughs and full stories and explanations and reviews of Resident Evil games, all the way from 1, then 2, 3, all the way up to 7, and the remakes. Um, I go through one of these phases sometimes, and because when I was a teenager, I was so envious of watching my brothers play the Resident Evil games, and they tried to include me, but obviously, action shooter game was not really what you would call blind friendly. So I never could really enjoy the games, on, other than living vicariously through my brothers when they were playing, and I would help them with the puzzles. But I couldn't do the controlling the character, running and shooting the monsters and stuff like that. So once in a while, I like to revisit those childhood regrets and feelings of uh, playing video games with my brothers by watching Resident Evil or other gaming channels. So that's the first reason why we got a zombie dog, because this is a zombie dog from Resident Evil game. Very recognizable, of course, because if you played, especially that first game, that was like the first monster you get introduced to right in the beginning, in the intro, the cutscene. Uh, Also, this is a very retro action figure. This one made by, I believe, Toy Biz? It was either Toy Biz or Palisade. Actually, come to think of it, might have been Palisade. In 1998. So it is an oldie, but definitely a goodie. I think it came in a two-pack with a soldier, zombie soldier or a zombie police officer, something like that. Um, so uh, Another reason why we are looking at the zombie dog is because today we're celebrating a little, very lesser known holiday called Wolfenute. Wolfenute, for those of you who don't know, those of you like me that didn't know anything about this, uh, only started, I believe, in 2018. And this is one of those interesting holiday because it was made up by a kid. Wolverine was made up by an 8-year-old boy by the name of Dominic in New Zealand. So Dominic, who was 8 at the time, he told his mom that it would be cool to have a holiday that where people celebrate their love and appreciation for wolves and dogs. And he said this would be one of those holidays where uh, at once every year on this very night, the spirit of the great wolf would come visit you. And if you are nice to nature, if you're a nice person to dogs and wolves, and you will get a blessing or a gift from the great wolf. Well, Dominic's mom decided to share that idea on social media, and it really took off. So ever since then, on November 23rd, every year, some people, animal lovers, dog lovers, wolf lovers around the world, celebrate this special day called Wolfenute. Uh, so I thought that was really cool. So we are going to use this day and look at a wolf-related character today. So I thought this zombie dog is really good for opening the show. Now, before we get to our Wolfie character, no, we are not going to look at Wolverine. Wolverine, not even a wolf. Uh, I do want to show you guys what you're looking at right now. This is really, really cool. My brand new action figure diorama display. This is, let me move the camera over. This is made by Toys. It cost about 90 bucks US. And I want to talk a little bit about this because when I bought this and when I got it in hand, I was both very, very surprised and disappointed, and yet pleased at the same time. And I'm going to talk about that. Uh, Also, I can talk about the diorama piece because our character today doesn't. It's not very complicated. It's not going to take super long. So I do want to introduce you guys to this little diorama display. So let's get the zombie dog off the stairs. Put him off to the side. Excuse the hand. So as you guys can see, this well, some of you can't. I'm sorry, but this comes in several pieces. Okay, so this comes with first this base, this floor part, which is like a cracked ground, like cracked street. I guess is that supposed to be a street or like a foundation of something. Everything is made by resin, so it's very hard material, but you gotta be careful because if you drop them, they might shatter. So you want to handle with care. Okay, so this comes with this big piece that's the ground, and then it comes with these pillars. By the way, on the bottom of these pieces, they're all felted, so there's like soft felt on the bottom. So when you put it down, it feels very high end actually. Except for this tiny piece here. This, I think, this tiny little piece is a broken section of a pillar, and there's no real like set way to display these older pieces that come with it. You can just put it wherever you like, how rearrange however you like. So it comes with one, two, three, four, four of these pillars. Four of these pillars, and they are like different height. The tallest one is almost a foot tall. The shortest one, well, if you count this broken one, this little broken piece. By the way, it's supposed to be like that. I didn't break it. This, if you count this, then there's five pillar pieces. So this little one that's about an inch, and this one you just put it on the ground, look like a broken piece of pillar. This set is called the Greek Ruins by MMA Toys. Greek Ruins, and I believe this is set C. So there's three versions of Greek Ruins, I believe. Uh, A just come with the base and the stairs, and I think B just come with the base and the pillars. And set C, which is the one you're looking at here, slightly more expensive, but you get all the pillars, all four pillars, and these are really well made. Like if you look at the pillar, they have all these cracks running down the side, the top. Like look like it's shattered. Like this look like some kind of like a relic, right? They look really really cool. So you get the base and the pillar, and then you also get this big chunk over here. Let me move the camera over. Now this is a stone steps that lead up from the base. Okay, so you can put this on the base or beside the base. How again, there's no real right or wrong way to do this. You can just arrange it however you like, depending on what you need to display your action figure as. And the steps again, it's its own piece and it's pretty big. Uh, and there's like one, two, three, four, five, six, six steps going up to the top. So for example, you can have the steps sitting on the base like this, and then you can have the pillars flanking the stairs like this, like this. There's no way to really get them attached. You just put things where you think you want them, and hopefully you don't knock them over, right? You can have the pillars flanking the stairs like this. Um, or if depending on what you're trying to do, you can have a pillar at the top of the stairs. Uh, but be careful, it's a little bit wobbly. It wouldn't be that wobbly if I didn't have it sitting on the base itself. Like if you have it sit on the side of the base, it's fine. Um, so yeah, you are getting quite a few pieces for that hefty price tag. So that's good. I will say, as far as quality goes, as far as craftsmanship and what you are getting in a box, it doesn't feel cheap. It feels like a $90 well spent. But I did say I am disappointed with it because for me, mostly I bought this thinking that it would really make it a cool display to use for Toy Thursday backdrop to go with the poster we have in the back here. Um, and it does. It is pretty cool when you set it up, but it's in so many pieces, and I'm like, at least for me, I'm so scared that the cat's going to knock it over. I'm so scared that I'm going to drop it when I'm setting it up. It's just a lot of extra hassle because none of these pieces can be attached. They just sit there, and these pillars, they fall over very easily if you bump them, if the cat bumps them, um, and not to mention, it's so in so many pieces that taking it from the bookshelf and bringing it over to the counter or table requires multiple trips, unless I just want to throw them in the backpack and carry them over. Um, so setting up is a pain. Storing them is a pain. Uh, Honestly, when I bought it, I thought everything would be either attachable, like peg together or snap together, or they would just be in one piece. I thought it would be something that is in one piece, not all over the place like this. Um, so that's why personally I'm a bit disappointed because while it does enhance the action figure display and photograph and video, it's a little bit of a nerve-wracking experience to move it and to set it up and try to make sure you don't break anything or your cat don't break anything. So that's just a quick little review for this MMM Toys Greek Ruin Type C backdrop diorama display. You can get this from Big Bad Toy Store. Um, I would say if you like the look of it, it is big and it is well made. Uh, I say wait for there's a sale. A lot of times, Big Bad Toy Store will put these large diorama pieces on sale and with like almost half price. If you can get it for $50, it's great. $90, just know that setting this up is a bit of a pain. Now, with that out of the way, let's reset everything and then bring in our subject of the day, our Wolfnewt representative, uh, true wolf-like character. This horrifying beast that looked like some kind of crazy demonic wolf is actually originally going to be called Wolf Spawn. And this is another retro action figure. This was made by McFarlane Toys, or I think back then they were actually called Todd Toys. In 1996, I believe this was 1995 and 1996. I think 1996 in the Spawn Series 7 toy line, and yeah, originally it was going to be called Wolf Spawn because it is a spawn, but it's definitely not a human spawn. It's some kind of like a wolf creature. Uh, but the name somehow got changed over to Mangler, like he liked to mangle things. Makes sense. You look at all those spikes and teeth and claws, you know this thing is going to mangle somebody. Um, so Mangler later, in 1997, 1998, was actually made to be part of the Shadow of Spawn comic book storyline. Shadow of Spawn is a part of Spawn comics that was kind of mm, took things to become like anime, like manga. So it was like a manga Spawn comic run. I don't know. McFarlane did some weird stuff back then. So anyway, so Mangler appeared in the Japanese story arc as a kind of a wolf Spawn. I can't. I can't remember if he was supposed to be good guy or bad guy or what's going on, but the official story from the bio on the back of the box said that the demon lord Malbolgia did not just use humans for his spawn uh, experimentation. In fact, he used all kind of animals, and Mangler was one such creature that used to be a wolf. After he died, he got turned into a demonic spawn and have to serve Malbolgia and do his bidding. Unlike the human, subjects, the animal ones were actually better because they maintained their animal ferocity, but they did not question orders. That's actually the official bio. Now, there were two versions of this creature released. The first one was all kind of gray color, and the second one was maroon and red. Don't ask me which one I have here. Maybe we'll make that the question of the day today. You can tell me in the comment section what color mangler I have here. Mangler is a huge figure, not just for back then, 1996, even by today's standard, he's a huge figure. If you can stand him upright on his hind leg, I imagine he would be like 12 or 13 inches tall. Unfortunately, though, he can't stand upright because he doesn't have knee joints. So he's always in this crouched position. But even then, he is big. He is a really big creature. Definitely larger than any kind of wolf would be. And that's not the only crazy part about this creature. We can tell that he's supposed to be a wolf, but there's all kind of weird demonic details on him. His torso is very skinny, almost skeletal. You can actually see the rib cage down the side of his body, and he got these giant spikes that just come out from his spine, uh, just over the back of his body. There's these gigantic uh, spikes, and his head is very bony looking with like horns and ridges in the front, wolf ear, and the jaw can open and close. Jaw can open and close. Num num. And there's a lot of teeth. Like any dog, he has black nose, pink tongue, but he definitely has way more bigger teeth than most dogs. And look at the claws on his hand. These are some serious claws. Like this thing, it's crazy, right? Like you look at this, you say, yeah, getting in its way would be a really bad idea. Um, Comparing to a lot of figures from his time, Mangler is actually quite well articulated. Now, I said his knees don't work, and that's kind of a shame because I wish I could get him to stand upright. That would be so cool. Um, but he has like 11 points of articulation. I'm not going to mess with him too much because old figure, McFarlane figure means probably going to break if I start moving his arms and neck too much. But his jaws move, his neck move, his shoulders move, elbows move, wrist move, hip move, and his tail move. So he has 11 points of articulation. Nothing super fancy. They're all just kind of like old style swivel joint. Uh, but I think the shoulder actually, at least when I moved them a little bit, they felt like they're kind of like ball joints, although the range is not great. His proportions are really weird. Like I said, he can't stand upright, so he's forever in this hunched forward position. You can kind of get him to rear up uh, slightly like this, which make him pretty tall. But you need to put one of his hand on the ground like a monkey to support himself, and then the other hand can come up like that, like doggy shake hand. Nah, don't tell him I said that. You can do that, or you can have him fully lean forward with his head down, and he's more on all fours, uh, like that. So there's not a lot of posing option, but honestly, something like this, he doesn't need to be Spider-Man. You get a couple of cool poses out of him, and he's going to look damn impressive on your shelf. I actually have him displayed with my animal themed action figures like uh, Realm of the Cloth and Stan Winston's Blood Wolves, and he fits in just fine. He's the right size. He's bigger than a lot of them. Uh, you like right now, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom is all the rage, and I think you can even fudge him in there because he's bigger than those guys, and he's going to look like a really intimidating wolf villain. Maybe for the wolf tribe, he can be their champion or something like that. Uh, Now, not only he has claws and fangs, he also comes with a couple of accessories. Uh, First, you have this big demonic skull with a big horn on the top. This skull is kind of hefty, and he can't really do much with it. He can have it on the tip of his other accessory. He has a staff, but let me see. I think you can actually get him to. Let me do this carefully. I'm trying to get him to hold the skull in his mouth, but his jaw articulation a bit loose, so he's not going to really do it. Yeah, 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 yeah. There we go. There we go. There we go. Look, I hope you guys can see it. Got the skull in his jaw. Yeah, so he can do that. He can hold it in his jaw, and I don't know, have a snack when he get hungry. Um, his other accessory is this big wooden staff branch thing that have a metallic spear axe thingy on the one end and three kind of branches, little twigs on the other end. And what you do is you put the skull in this branches. The branches will cradle the skull like this, it's part of the staff, but it doesn't hold very tight. It doesn't sit there very tightly, so it's constantly falling off when you're moving the figure. Now this this piece of wood. Well, it's plastic, but it looks like a piece of wood. Have pegs on the side. And Mangler actually have holes in his hand. So what you do is you take this and you take this weapon and you line the peg up with the hole in his palm. McFarlane liked doing things like this back then. I don't know why he didn't just do proper gripping hand. He liked to do pegs going into the palm, and then sometimes when the peg break, then your action figure can never hold the uh, weapon ever again. But I'll have to do this off camera. 1 second. The angle was too wonky to reach around like that. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now we have Mangler holding onto his weapon. So he's a it's not bad enough that he's a demonic giant wolf with big claws and teeth, and God knows whatever demonic power. But he also have a big ass weapon with a skull on top. Like life is just so not fair. Like other wolves have to just be wolves, and this thing has all the things that other wolves ever wanted: claws, fangs, demonic power, weapon. Probably got human intelligence too. Yeah. So since we have the zombie dog from Resident Evil, let me just quickly bring him over here. And he's so small. He's so small. Like I don't know if you guys can even see it. So small. Uh, Next to Mangler, he's barely the size of Mangler's leg. So yeah, it's a tiny little doggy. Um, I'm just going to quickly grab random action figures for size comparison. Of course, we must have Captain America. Captain America versus giant demon wolf in the Greek ruin. Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? These pillars also serve as prop. You can prop your action figure up with them. That's really cool. Uh, so there we go. Now you guys can see next to the wolf, next to Mangler, how small Captain America is. Like, okay, we'll bring Captain forward and stand him by the wolf. Right? He's tiny. I mean, he's even the wolf not standing upright. The back spike of the wolf of Mangler is head and shoulder taller than Captain America. Uh, and this Captain America is like a modern action figure. And this Mangler is from, like I said, 1996. So definitely a huge action figure that looks pretty decent with a lot of your display. Whether you want like a demonic animal, demonic creature on your fantasy display or in your animal kingdom. Let's bring in Incredible Hulk. So we can see that Incredible Hulk is, yeah, it's bigger than Mangler, but not by much. Not by much. Like standing side by side, if those two were to fight, I would say Mangler would still put up a really decent fight. And if Mangler can stand upright on the hind leg, he would be way taller than Incredible Hulk. And just for the hell of it, here's a Mythic Legion Dwarven Legion Builder. Such a good figure. I know color-wise it's kind of boring, but it's such a good figure. When you handle this figure, most of the Mythic Legion figures, when you get them in your hand, they just feel hefty and premium. And uh, when you buy them, they feel expensive, but uh, yeah, they're so cool. Like this Dwarven Legion builder, it's quite a bulky figure, but yeah, look like Mangler is going to have dwarf for dinner. Oh yeah, by the way, talk about price. Back then in 1996, when Mangler was released, I got him for, get this, 7.99. $7.99, $8, less than $8. You got this huge ass wolf demon thing. Oh yeah, those were the good old days of toy collecting. Thank you for being here today. Be nice to animals. Celebrate the majestic wolves and loyal dogs. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Fitness Friday.